What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to this week's installment on The Lake Show. Now, I hope you all enjoyed last week's episode of me bitching and complaining about Taylor Swift, the Kansas City Chiefs, Lamar Jackson, and really everything about the NFL and its current state. Obviously, the Super Bowl is 1 week away. We'll get they should have been in the Super Bowl. We get the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sure that'll be a good Super Bowl. A rematch of 2020, I believe, or 2019. Either way, one of those two. No, it was 2019 because that's when COVID happened after that. So, yeah. So, a rematch of the previous Super Bowl between Pat Mahomes and Jimmy Garoppolo. Now Brock Purdy at the helm for the 49ers. So, it should be an interesting Super Bowl, to say the least. But I don't know if I'm going to end up watching it. I really don't. I'm not really too interested in seeing Taylor Swift for the whole 5 times it's going to show throughout the game. Pretty sure there's a bet on sports books or anything like that, FanDuel. I'm pretty sure you can hit the over-under of how many times Taylor Swift is going to be shown on national television, and I just don't want any part of it, really. Now, a part of me, I'll probably still watch the Super Bowl anyway, just because I have some money on the line when it comes to player props and everything, but, that's neither here nor there. It is what it is, and we'll see in a week how the Super Bowl pans out, really. So, like I said, we're going to get back on, like I'm mentioning, we're going to get back on track to what my channel is all about. It's all about moving forward in your life. It's all about overcoming your struggles, overcoming your past issues, and, really bettering yourself into the person you want to become throughout 2024 and really beyond for the rest of your life. The issues that I bring up, oftentimes depression, anxiety, hot topics for sure when it comes to this day and age, especially in Gen Z, where it feels like everybody experiences a form of that in one way, shape, or form. Some people struggle with finances, some people it's family, some people it's relationships, and, there's just a plethora of topics to talk about when it comes to mental health and depression and anxiety. It takes a mental toll on all of us, really. So, and personally, I've been going through a lot of things. I've been going through a lot of personal struggles right now, but I'm overcoming it for the most part. It's, like I mentioned in a couple episodes back, you're constantly growing, you're constantly learning, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly getting used to situations that maybe not be in your favor. You're slowly getting used to those. You're getting used to them and overcoming them in a quicker and easier fashion, I would say. You don't necessarily get over pain quickly. You don't necessarily do that. You really, honestly, make room for more, but you also learn how to deal with it more maturely and better than you may have handled it in the past. So that's why I'm not really too upset about everything going on in my life. Obviously, those who know me close know what I'm going through, and it hurts still, but, excuse me, but we're making progress, to say the least. Compared to where my situation was years ago, definitely being able to handle certain situations better. This is a couple things going on for me right now, at least, are a true testament to how far I've come in working on myself and becoming, a better version of me when it comes to handling anything that can be related to depression or anxiety or just overthinking in general, any situation like that. I'm proud of the progress I've made throughout my life and throughout the past 5 years, and really 2 years, honestly. But, I don't regret anything for 1 second. I don't look back and wish stuff hasn't happened to me. Obviously, it's hurtful when things happen to you, especially in those tough situations. But at the same time, those situations, those struggles, those, feelings of hopelessness in a way really build you into the person that really can overcome anything that's thrown their way. Any life situation you can think about. Heartbreak, family issues, financial struggle, job issues, anything like that. The more you go through some of this stuff, the easier. I'm not saying it's easy in the sense of the entirety of the situation, but it gets easier in a sense of you being able to cope and deal with it. That shows true growth. When you can look in the mirror and genuinely be okay with who you are, at least who you are becoming, I say that's a definite sign of change, and that's a definite sign of, maturity and growth on your part. Anybody can go through this at any given point in their life. Sometimes life just, it hands you a deck of cards. It hands you it, and it's up to you to deal with it. It's up to you to handle it. It's the cards dealt, and that's how you have to roll with it. You adapt, you learn, you evolve, and you just overcome. And that's the reality of my current situation currently. But like I said before, we're handling it better than I thought I would ever handle situations like this. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt or anything like that, but it definitely shows how much I've matured and grown over the past 2 years, I would say. But that's what we live for. We strive and endure all the pain, all the hardships, all the struggles. We endure it all because it makes us into the better person. It makes us stronger. It gives us thicker skin. It makes us prepared mentally for the world that, a lot of us are entering, at least in Gen Z, who are currently finishing up college or have graduated or are already in the workforce, realizing, some of the stuff that they've been through in their life that has prepared them mentally to, be able to overcome anything that really gets thrown their way. And that's currently where I'm at right now. But in this week's episode, it might be a little bit of a shorter episode, but I've identified 8 things that all of us, but everyone, needs to wake up and realize. I've identified 8 things that everybody should realize. Everybody should take this to heart. There's very important information to be learned in the topics we'll discuss today. So the first topic we're going to talk about is comfort kills dreams. And what do I mean by this? Well, when you're in a comfortable spot, when you're complacent, when you're not pursuing anything, maybe you're too scared to take risks, maybe you want to start a business, maybe you want to go out and, be a doctor, be a lawyer, maybe you want to be an athlete, maybe you want to be a YouTube star, maybe you want to be a social media influencer, maybe you want to be an engineer. Any given field. There is no point in having dreams if you are not going to act on them. When you are staying complacent in the same position you are in life, getting complacent and getting comfortable in that place, that's where dreams, in a sense, go to die. There's no sense of urgency. There's no sense of consistency. The only consistent part is being lazy, and the only consistent part is not actively trying to pursue something great. Comfort kills dreams. So one big thing I can explain about this is you have to be willing to take chances. You have to be willing to take risks. There is no easy set path in this life. There's no easy set path to achieve any goal you set your mind to. The whole idea of having dreams is, it's a dream, but you also want to make it a reality if it's something you're very passionate about. You could be passionate about a lot of things. You can want to do a lot of things. Like a lot of people, and I'm going to attribute all this to Generation Z when it comes to, the influx of information that we've been getting throughout social media, the public figures we see, the influencers that really try to shape our mind into a certain way. Obviously, the red pill and blue pill movement comes to mind when it comes to those situations. But in all reality, comfort kills your dreams because it doesn't give you the necessary push to really overcome anything and to really endure any fundamental process of trying to be successful. So, like I said before, it doesn't matter what career you want to pursue. Whatever it is, whatever your dream is, you should be giving it 110% of your effort. You should be doing everything in your power that you want, that you can be, to achieve that dream. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take. It doesn't matter how unbelievably crazy it might sound. They're your dreams. They're not anybody else's. Nobody else has the right to judge you for what you want to do in your life. That baffles me. when it comes to career choice, when it comes to lifestyle choice, obviously in a healthy and productive manner, whatever it is you want to do or strive for in your life, there is no reason that you shouldn't be able to do it. And there is nobody on this earth that should say anything to you that could influence that decision. My personal goals and my personal dreams that I want to achieve, nobody is going to say one thing or another that's going to change that outcome. If it's a dream that I have, I'm going to try and achieve it. But I know for a fact it's not going to be because of what other people said I couldn't do, and it's not going to be because of what other people said that it wouldn't work. It's not what others say. It's about how you act on yourself and your own ambitions and your own dreams and your own goals, your own discipline, your own consistency. You have to implement all those things for you. It can't be influenced by anybody else. Yeah, people will, applaud you along the way. I'm sure there will be plenty of people who don't applaud you along the way. As a matter of fact, there will probably be people that are rooting for you to fail. And that's the reality of life nowadays. There's limited room at the top when it comes to a lot of, lifestyles and everything like that. There's very little room at the top. But at the same time, there is no reason whatsoever you should be listening to other people when it comes to your pursuit of your dreams or goals or anything like that. Whatever you want to strive to achieve in your life, there's no reason anybody should be interjecting their thoughts and opinions on how you should go about it or what you should be doing with your life. I'm sorry. When it comes to being productive in life, when it comes to making healthy choices, yes, then your friends, your family, they have a right to interject their opinions and thoughts on you because they're just caring about your well-being. But when it comes to doing stuff productively in life, when it comes to achieving dreams or goals or aspirations or anything like that, that's on you. Don't get comfortable. That's the reality of it. Don't stay in a comfortable place just because it's so familiar with everything you've been used to. You have to learn to branch out. You have to learn to endure hardships. You have to endure risks. You have to take them. Because if not, it's just wasted potential at that point. If you think it, automatically there's a chance that you could do it. But I know what doing nothing does. It gets you nowhere. So if you want more in life, if you want to stop being so complacent right now in your current state, guess what? It's not on anybody else to change that. It's up to you to change that. Just because you're in a comfortable situation right now, that doesn't guarantee that you'll end up reaching where you want to be in 5, 10, 20 years from now. Get out of that comfort zone. Go out and actually try new things. Go learn new things. You're never going to know something succeeds unless you go out and try it. That's the reality of it. Nobody on this planet has achieved something great or astronomically amazing without putting in some risky efforts to propel themselves towards that goal. That's the reality of it. Comfort zone really kills dreams because it just gives you a sense of complacency. It doesn't throw you in situations where, you have to adapt. You have to think. You have to critically think, maybe even think outside the box to achieve that. The comfort zone destroys dreams. So the way to get out of the comfort zone and actually achieve dreams and goals and aspirations you want, you have to take risk. Nothing in this life was warranted without risk. So if you really want to achieve dreams, goals, and aspirations, especially if you want more of a luxurious lifestyle, you have to take risk. There's no sense in you just standing by and waiting for it to happen, because all these good things in life that are offered to us, it's not handed to anybody. So if you want that big house, if you want those millions in the bank account, if you want financial freedom, if you want, to live financially free, you got to take risk. There's no sense in waiting around for it to happen when the only way to do it is to put yourself out there, to get out of that comfort zone you've been used to your whole life and actually go and attempt and try something new. So that's the way to overcome complacency. And, I have my own dreams and aspirations. I do. But, I'm also pursuing something else right now. And then that'll be the last thing I talk about today. But we're going to move on to the second one. Here's the second thing you all need to wake up and realize. Social comparison kills. I can't tell you how many times that I've ran into people that compare themselves and their current situations to other people's situations. And this mainly stems from, it could be either from people in their inner circle, or it could be people such as influencers online, the Andrew Tates of the world, the Justin Wallers of the world, the, Charlie D'Amelios of the world, the Addison Rays of the world, like all those high level influential people. Everybody compares their situation to where they are. Now, in a way, I don't think it's necessarily too terrible of a thing to do, but I also do think if you don't have the proper mental process to comprehend everything that I have to do something about it, I am taking different steps in my life, that's just going to hinder you throughout your life. There's no reason that you should be comparing yourself where you are currently in your state to someone else who may have all the money in the world that they want. Maybe they have complete and total happiness in their life. You cannot compare someone's situation, what they have compared to what you don't have, because you could be light years ahead of someone else in this world. And believe me, no matter what situation you are in, there are plenty of people out there who would kill to be in that position you're in right now. Going through what I went through the past couple years, and even recently, I put my life into perspective when it comes to really where I was and where I currently am in my life. Okay, I don't have the money that I really want. I don't have the lifestyle that I want. I maybe don't have, just various aspects of life that I really truly want in my life. But at the same time, I got a college education. I have a loving family. I have clothes on my body, a roof on my head, and food on the table, and a loving and supportive friend group. There's a lot of things like that some of us really take for granted. There's plenty of people in this world who don't have that. There are plenty of people in this world who don't know when their next meal will be. There are plenty of people in this world who, don't know how they can afford to keep food on the table for their family. There's people out there who are homeless. There are people out there who, don't have clothes for their children. There are 1,000,001 situations on this planet that people would be willing to trade for yours any day. The deck of cards that you have in your hand. And I'm not saying everybody's situation is the same. We're all different. But it's pointless to compare yourselves to others, because there are plenty of people behind you that wish they were in your shoes. But at the same time, you wish you were in the people ahead of you in their shoes. It's a constant reminder to us to never take anything for granted. Like, yes, do I wish I had a giant house in Malibu, California, driving an Aston Martin, a Lamborghini, or an Audi R8? Of course I do. But at the same time, I'm grateful for where I am right now. And I'm also grateful and blessed for everything I've gone through to get me to this portion in my life, because I do not know if I would be the same person had I not gone through everything like that. I found myself dipping into that pit. I found myself comparing like I was saying, I have found myself dipping into that pit, into that dark mental state of wishing for the things that I do not have, wishing for the things that, the guys like Andrew Tate and Justin Waller have, the guys like, the Paul brothers, the lifestyle that they live, or everything that the Addison Rays and the Charlie D'Amelios and all those influencers, everything about their life. Like, I wish I had a lot of the stuff that they have. But at the same time, growing up, I realized, you have to be grateful for the position you are in no matter what. Because those certain circumstances and situations that you're thrown into shape you and mold you into the person that can overcome a lot more in their life, and who are more likely to succeed just because you have a thick skin on you. You are able to endure all hardships. you are able to endure everything that's thrown your way. And that's the whole reality of growing up. The more you grow up, the more painful situations you're going to deal with and you're going to be handed. It's all about how you respond to it. And that all starts with your mental process. That's all up in the head. It all starts up here, no matter what. No matter what you want to do in life, no matter what you want to achieve or pursue in life, you have to have a strong mental process. You have to have a strong mentality to yourself. That's what hardship is all about. But one thing I can really tell everyone is that comparing yourself to others, comparing yourself to millionaires, yes, have they made their money and they're living the lifestyle you want? Yes. But who's to say that can't be you? That goes back to, the first thing I talked about, comfort killing dreams. Don't stay in the comfort zone. Take risks. Do something crazy. Do something, completely unprecedented. Maybe it'll shift the dynamic of your entire life direction or even your entire family's life direction. But you have to take the risk to do it. Standing around doing nothing will get you nowhere. That's the reality of that. But also comparing yourself to other people, not only is it going to make you realize what you don't have, it's going to make you forget about the things you do have and the things that you shouldn't take for granted. Like everything I mentioned, do you have a family? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have clothes on your body? Do you have food on the table? Do you have a job? Did you get an education? Do you have all of these things in life? Because plenty of people would kill to be in your shoes. That's throughout the entire world. If you throw all your struggles into a pile, let's say everybody in the world threw all their situations and all their struggles into a pile, I guarantee you a lot of people, myself included, would take my problems and run compared to some of the other problems that people in this world deal with. No matter what. Yes. Do these situations suck? Yes. Does it suck seeing others maybe our age or a little bit younger have everything they could ever want in the world and never have to worry about finances or struggling or depression or anything like that? Of course, it sucks. But at the same time, you should always still be grateful and looking toward the future of what else God has in store for you. I don't like to dwindle on what I do or don't have. Obviously, I think about it from time to time, but at the same time, I don't like doing that often because I know what kind of mindset it puts me in. It puts me in the poor me sort of state. Like, no, you shouldn't do that whatsoever. You should focus on your own issues and deal with them. Stop worrying about what other people's situations are. There's nobody else on this planet that really should be thinking about this. There's no reason for you to be comparing yourself to millionaires if you yourself are just finishing college or you're just getting into college or you're in high school. It doesn't matter. Everybody has their own life path. Everybody's is different. Finances come and go. All this stuff comes and go. But don't hinder your mental process by comparing yourself to others who have more than you, because there's always people out there who have less than you. Like I said earlier, if everyone in this planet threw their problems in a pile and you were asked to choose, go ahead and take someone else's problems or your problems, guess what? You're going to take your problems and everything you're going through and run. Because a lot of people on this planet are probably going through things that me or all of you could not possibly comprehend. And that's just the truth. The truth hurts, but at the same time, there's no reason to compare yourself to others when, you're either a million light years ahead of someone else's shoes or you're behind someone else's shoes. Focus on the hand you're dealt. Focus on making yourself better. If you want all of those great things in life, you put forth the effort. You go out and attack those dreams and goals. You go out and take the risk. It's on you to do that. It's not anybody else's job to do that for you. If you want all those great things in life, that falls on you. That's what you have to go out and earn. Unless you win the lottery, which, very slim to none chance that's ever going to happen. You have to go forth and put in the effort. All right, let's move on to the The third thing everyone needs to wake up and realize is that your mindset matters. There are a lot of mindsets in this world. There is a lot of ways of interpreting things and dealing with things. But if you do not have a strong mindset, if you do not have the mindset of, I will overcome anything and everything that's thrown my way, I don't know what to tell you other than the fact that you are going to be struggling for a long, long, long time. That's the reality of the entire situation. Your mindset has to matter. You can either adopt the mindset of constantly, let's say you're going through struggles. Let's say you're going through heartbreak. Let's say you're going through, a bad breakup, or maybe you're not as close of friends as you are with someone else that like you used to be. How are you going to handle that? Are you going to sit down in the dumps? Are you going to put yourself into a mental black hole and constantly run through the what ifs of how it could have been different? Everybody's done that. But the reality is you have to have a strong mindset overall. You have to have an overcoming mindset. You have to. You have to endure every struggle, every painful thought that's come to your mind, everything that has happened to you in your life. You have to own up to all of that and move on. I don't know how to deal with any situation other than that way. Like, you will endure it, yes, and this is because I've done years of work on myself so I can be able to adopt this mindset that no matter what, at the end of the day, I'm going to be okay. No matter the cards dealt, no matter the situation I'm put in, no matter what, I will be okay. I will overcome this. This will pass. And that's the reality of a lot of situations that are going on in the world. When it comes to depression and anxiety, when it comes to any mental health issue that you may have, your mindset matters, and the truth hurts. It's really, a lot of people don't want to admit they have a problem. I was in denial for the longest time. I never wanted to admit I had a problem ever. I thought I was okay, no matter what. Even in reality, it was eating me up inside. It was killing me because I refused to deal with things that have hindered me from growing and evolving. Stuff that just kept me down all the time. When in reality, it's not going to have an effect on me in 5, 10, 20 years from now. It's not going to matter. I'm not living my life in the rearview mirror anymore. Some days I do. Some days I have those days. Some days we slip back into the old thought process. Some days we slip up. But no matter what, at the end of the day, I am going to be okay. And that situation is true for me. And I want it to be true for a lot of people that are watching and a lot of people that I know and everybody that I care about. I want everybody to adopt that mindset. Like, your mindset has to matter to you. The way you perceive things and the way you handle certain situations, your mindset has to matter. Your thought process has to matter. And that's something that comes in time. That's something that you work on. It could be years until you get it. Like for me, it took at least 2 years to fully adopt. No matter what, at the end of the day, I'm going to be okay. That overcoming mindset, that took me nearly 2 years to finally get. I've always wanted that mindset, but in reality, I was running away from past issues that were just killing me inside. But I put in the work for it. It was hard. It was long time. And I still have those bad days. I still think about those things that have consumed me. Not to the full extent, obviously, since new situations pop up. But I was right in saying this when my first episode dropped of the new year. I was right in saying that new situations would pop up that require strength to push through. And, I'm proving to myself right now that that's the case. That I've put in a lot of work over the years, that it's actually paying off in the way that, I never thought it could. I never thought I could be okay with given everything that's going on right now. I never thought in a million years that I'd be able to handle such things. And I'll talk about them eventually later down the line because I'm actively dealing with it, and I'm not going to, put that out there for everyone. But the reality is everything that I have went through in my life, everything that I've went through the past 5 years plus has led me to situations, led me to the mindset of being able to handle situations like I'm going through right now. Stuff that has consumed me in the past doesn't have a hold on me anymore. And for all intents and purposes, I forgot pretty much everything that has happened to me prior. It's all about focusing on the here and now and the situation I'm currently in. But my mindset will always be, I'm okay at the end of the day. As long as I got my health, I'm okay. I still have another day to right the ship. I have another day to myself to adopt another mindset and grow my current mindset. I have time to do that. And for some people it could be almost instantaneously. Maybe someone is just so fed up with everything that they just completely don't care about anything ever again, which is fair, but I don't think that's necessarily healthy. But it does take years and time to adopt the mindset of overcoming everything. And that's something that people need to realize is your mindset matters. Take it serious. And the truth is going to hurt. No matter what people tell you, the truth hurts. It makes things very uncomfortable, but the truth hurts. And the biggest truth is whatever you're trying to tell yourself. When you have to look at yourself in the mirror and you can safely say, yeah, I can handle anything that's thrown my way, then you're there. If not, there's work to do. Number 4, actions have consequences. Oh, that's like the age-old saying, actions have consequences. No kidding. If you are going to do something in your life when it comes to really anything, your action is going to have a consequence, whether that be positive or negative. It doesn't matter. It always will be the case. And some people just like to act on intuition. Some people just like to act out and just not care. Doesn't matter what actions they take. Doesn't matter what they do to others, to them. Those people, they'll never understand it. But those people who do that, karma's a bitch. Believe me, karma comes for everyone. So it's important to own up to your actions, especially past actions. Maybe you wish that you did something different in a situation. Maybe you wish you did something different in a relationship, at a job, whatever it may be. You have to own up to those actions. You have to own up to the consequences that come along with it. If you're pursuing something great in life, let's say, you want to start your own business. Well, you don't have as much time as you used to go out and drink, go out and socialize, go with your friends, go with your family. No. That's an action you're taking. And the consequence is you're not going to have the amount of free time that you truthfully want. Now, if you're of the mindset of, I'm just going to go through my day, without a care in the world, I'm just going to stay the same old average Joe. Okay, you'll have time on your hand. You'll be able to go out, do a lot of things, but the consequence is, where do you go in life? Are you stagnant? Are you just here to stay like that? Is that it? Is that your ultimate goal in life? Is just to stay complacent? Well, I feel sorry for people who don't have any true goals or aspirations to try and go and achieve in their life. I really feel bad for those people. But like I said, your actions are going to have consequences for good or for bad. And in ways, there's both good and bad, no matter what I said. When I talk about the business side, if you want to start a business, great. The consequence of starting a business, you get real world experience when it comes to running one. You could possibly, be the next Apple. You could possibly be the next Tesla. Those are good consequences, I'm sure. But at the same time, you're not going to have the amount of free time that you really want. You're not going to have all that time in the world to go out and party, go out and drink, even though I don't think that's stuff that people in our generation should even be doing a lot of in the first place. But That's the reality of it, no matter what happens. But that's the reality, no matter what happens in life. And the same thing pertains to relationships. Um, let's say you're someone who, it doesn't matter what side it is. If you leave one person, it doesn't matter. That's a consequence. The consequence is, you may not find someone like that person ever again. That's the truth. And the same thing goes for friendships. The same thing goes for family. Like, I know you can't pick your family, but at the same time, no matter what action you do take, there will always be a consequence to that action. That's all I'm trying to say when it comes to that. But it always matters. It comes up in every situation. It can be a financial decision. It could be a relationship situation. It could be a family situation, job, education, all of that. Whatever actions you take in any given situation, they will always have consequences, for good or for bad. And some people don't realize it until it happens to them, and then they're shocked. Oh, why did this happen to me? Well, look at what you did back then. Did in this situation. That's why you're in this one. For good or for bad, people are shocked when it happens. Well, maybe it's for a good shock, like a good situation. Maybe it's for a good consequence. Oh, like all my preparation has, led me to this point in life to where it's just great. Okay, good. That's a good consequence. And then in a bad situation, you can think about, oh, well, why is this happening to me? Because so and so did this. Well, that's because you did this way back when. Well, that's when you have to own up to them. Actions have consequences, people, no matter what, for better or for worse. Actions will always have consequences. Number 5, people come and go. That's a hard pill to swallow. And that's a hard truth that a lot of people don't want to admit, especially in our generation. A lot of people are always caught up in the same circle of people that they've associated with themselves with for their whole lives. Or when it comes to relationships that you may enter or leave. It doesn't matter. Like, some people in this world are not going to be meant to stick with you for the rest of your life. That's the reality of it. People come and go. Friends come and go. Relationships come and go. Family. As much as you can't pick them, family come and go. No matter what. Money comes and goes. Jobs come and go. Education comes and goes. Everything comes and goes. But especially when it comes to people. And the relationships you form will dictate whether those people are going to come along for the ride in your life journey or they're leaving. Maybe they're not going to be a part of it anymore. But people get so consumed when they don't get to hang out with the same people as often anymore. They don't get to do this or that. Well, let me ask anybody who has ever scrutinized maybe a friend or anything like that for not coming around often. What the hell do you want them to do? Do you want them to put their life on hold because they need to satisfy your current need for, just wanting to hang out, or just maybe even the need for attention? No. I'm sorry. Nobody should put their life on hold for somebody else. The only situation I can even see that being the case and actually happening is maybe you're waiting for your significant other to get out of college, or maybe you're waiting for your significant other to get a job in a certain place, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. That's the only situation where I can possibly see that happening. But in the majority of those situations, people come and go. What do you want other people to do? Put their lives on hold because you're just not moving anywhere in life? Like, that's the reality of that. People come and go. Friendships, family, relationships, significant others, anything like that. People come and go. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll be able to handle that certain situation if it were to come up. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy situation to deal with. I'm not saying that, because I've had situations like that. But it makes it easier to deal with knowing that it's a reality that you have to accept, that people come and go. People have lives. Priorities shift. Priorities change. and nobody has the same amount of time that they used to. So the sooner you can realize that people come and go, you're going to be better off for later on in life. Number 6, change is inevitable. Oh, this goes back to comfort kills dreams a little bit, the first topic I talked about, but you are going to get uncomfortable in life very quickly if you are not open-minded to change. If you're not open-minded to change, guess what? Life is going to hit you in the face like a sack of bricks. It does not matter how well or little you prepared for it. Change is inevitable. Change is always occurring. Circumstances change, people change, finances change, jobs change, education changes. Everything is prone to change in this world, and it's up to you to adapt to it. There's not much more to be said on that, other than the fact that it will happen eventually in life. For everybody who thinks that life is going to be the same throughout for the rest of their lives, I feel sorry for you, because you are going to have a tough go of it when you find out that change is happening. Change is inevitable. Always and forever, there will always be change in your life, no matter what circumstance it is. People, finances, friends, everything like that. Change is inevitable. Be open to it. Don't try to reject it. Let's say new technology comes out that proves, beyond useful for, finances or anything like that. And you're so stuck in your ways with cash and crypto or whatever it may be. Be open to change, because if you're not open to change, you're getting left behind with the others who just refuse to accept that things change in their life. Change is inevitable, people. It always will be. Your life will always change. Doesn't matter if it happens sooner rather than later. Change is inevitable, and you have to be open for it. 7, love is beautiful and dangerous. Ain't that the truth? Love is the most beautiful emotion on planet Earth, but it is also the most dangerous situation. There's a lot of good and bad things to be, learned from love. I believe it shows you what your true colors are, how far you're willing to go for someone. Obviously, the love I'm talking about is in relationships, but it is a beautiful thing, but it is a dangerous thing, especially if that portion is taken away from you. But that's where your mindset comes in. What state of mind are you in when to handle, whether it's rejection, whether it's someone leaving? It's change, so you have to be, I don't want to say always prepared for someone to leave or something like that, but you should always be, capable of handling it if it were to happen later down the line. It is one of the most beautiful things on planet Earth, that's for sure. But like I said, it could be dangerous, because you could easily, the reason I say love could be dangerous is I don't think you should pour all your happiness onto one person. I don't think any one person on this planet should be responsible for the happiness that you can provide for yourself. My idea of a relationship and my idea of having a significant other is having that someone that can add to my already existing happiness. And that's something I stand by. And I feel like a lot of people in Gen Z don't get that. You should be happy with yourself. Maybe you're in a different situation than a lot of people. Maybe, you don't have the money you want. You don't have the career you want. That doesn't matter. Those things shouldn't even dictate your happiness. Do you have food on your table? Do you have clothes on your back? Do you have a roof over your head? Obviously, there are different things in this world that can make you happy. But genuine happiness comes from, at least for me personally, genuine happiness comes from being able to look at yourself in the mirror and being completely okay with what you see. Obviously, we all need to grow and evolve and still, strive to learn more in this life. But at the same time, if you're okay with the person you see in the mirror, I think that's true love. I really do. And every day you wake up in the morning, obviously it feels nice to have that significant other be by your side. But at the same time, if you can wake up in the morning, I really hope you love yourself at the end of every day and at the beginning of every day and throughout your day. Love the person you are and love the person you're becoming. Love is beautiful, but it's also very dangerous. And one last thing we're going to talk about today is number 8. Everything that people need to wake up and realize is God heals. I can talk about my current situation I'm in, and I feel like a lot of people already put the pieces together of it. I'm not going to talk about it completely and fully, but I will tell you this, that since I've made that, leap of faith to, take my Christianity more serious, God makes things a lot easier in this life. I think back to, we're all sinners. There's not enough that we can do on this planet to warrant, God's forgiveness. But, through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that's where, we have hope. But at the same time, I believe God has a purpose for me. All the struggles and all the hardships I've ever been through, I full-heartedly believe that God has put me through those for a reason. I feel like everything happens for a reason. And I feel like God is putting me through all these trials and tribulations because he's building me into someone, even better than I think I am right now. Not as a Christian because, I can definitely do better. A lot of people would say they can do better. Nobody's a perfect Christian. We all know that. But, at least for me personally, it bothers me that, sometimes I am not the best I can be. I can definitely do some things different. I can handle situations differently. And I can think differently. And I can act differently. It's comforting to know that I've gotten so many answers because I've turned to God. I've turned to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So many things open my eyes and make sense to me when I do that. I could do it better. I really do. I really could. But when I do look to my faith to help me through certain situations, I've gotten a lot of answers through it. I've gotten over a lot of things, leaning into it. And right now I'm currently leaning into it for more answers. What I can really tell people is, yet again, I preach it. I really do. If faith means something to you, if you genuinely want it to mean something to you, lean into it. I really advise everyone to just give it a try. Go to a new church. Go to a Bible study session. Go to all these places. Interact with people who are basically in the same boat as you. Interact with people who have that genuine curiosity to learn more about God, the Bible, the Gospels, Jesus Christ. Lean into that. I promise you it's the best decision you'll ever make. And it has moved mountains for me when it comes to dealing with everything that I've been put through. And, he's the way, the truth, and the life. That sticks with me. God really does heal. And we may not always understand what we go through in life, but I know for a fact that nothing compares to God's love for all of us. That's something that, I've had to learn. But that's because I took a leap of faith. I took a chance to, better myself in that aspect of life I thought I was missing. God heals. So I understand those who may not have faith. Maybe religion isn't a part of their life. But I wouldn't necessarily say follow religion for religion's sake. I'm speaking to people who follow Christianity or, follow Jesus Christ. That's my whole thing was religion has been used to justify terrible things in this world. But Jesus Christ was perfect. My Lord and Savior was perfect. That's why I follow him. And, I try to do better every single day. But I know for a fact that God heals because I can see it firsthand of how much stronger it's made me as a person to handle all the bad that happens in my life. God heals, everyone. And that's going to wrap it up this week on the Lake Show, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all for making me a part of your day. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave some comments down below. I'm your host, Dominic Baleko. God bless.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up, so